Hello, my name is Sofia Minor, and welcome to another lecture from the 2020 Honors Chemistry Short Lecture Series. Have you ever bitten into chocolate and wondered why it makes you so happy? Well, I'm here to help you understand why exactly that happens. In this presentation, I will be talking about the components of chocolate, how they send signals to your brain, and why they cause your cravings, inspired by the CNN article, Dark Chocolate Yields Its Aromatic Recipe. Welcome to my presentation on the chemistry of chocolate. These are a few of the topics I will be going over in today's presentation. The reason we crave chocolate is because of its ambrosial aroma. In this experiment, they used 90% cocoa and 99% cocoa dark chocolate. Chocolate has about 600 volatile compounds, but only 2 or 3 dozen of these contribute to its aroma. The researchers first isolate the volatiles using a technique called gas chromatography to narrow down the 600 to about 70. In gas chromatography, the gas separation column is split. It sends half of the gas into a flame ionization detector and the other half to a person so they can analyze the smell. A total of 28 odorants contributed to the smell of 90% chocolate, and 30 made up of the 99% one. They exposed trained testers to the higher concentrations of each compound, allowing them to determine the smallest amount of a compound that must be present for someone to smell it. By dividing the concentration of each molecule present in the chocolates by this threshold, the researchers calculated the compound's odor activity values, or OAVs. The molecules with the highest OAVs were the following. In conclusion, food scientists can now tweak chocolate to add different flavors that will appeal better to us, the consumers. What exactly is chocolate? Well, chocolate is a semi-solid suspension of fine solid particles from sugar and cocoa in a continuous fat phase. The cocoa seeds are obtained by fully drying and fermenting the fruit of the Theobroma cacao. What kinds of chocolates are there, you ask? Well, there's bitter chocolate, bittersweet chocolate, and semi-sweet chocolate. Bitter chocolate is made up of pure chocolate liquor, or 100% cacao. The next chocolate is bittersweet chocolate, which is sweetened dark chocolate with sugar and cocoa butter. It's greater than 35% chocolate liquor, or about 70 to 100% cacao. Another chocolate is semi-sweet chocolate, which is dark sweetened chocolate made with greater than 15% chocolate liquor. Chocolate is the most craved substance in the United States. This effect is attributed to texture, sweetness, fat, aroma, and specific compounds. Why do we crave it so much, you ask? Well, the following compounds are to blame. Phenethylamine, or PEA, is related to amphetamines and it releases dopamine. Typically, there's about 50 to 100 milligrams in a 100-gram chocolate bar. PEA is a hormone-like substance that occurs naturally in your brain and body. It functions as a neurotransmitter that gives you heightened focus, attention, goal-directed behavior, and task completion. PEA provides the user with a feeling of euphoria, energy, stimulation, and overall well-being. The next compound would be anandamide. There's about 50 grams to 100 grams in a cocoa bean. It is a fatty acid neurotransmitter and it's considered an endocannabinoid. Anandamide plays a role in the regulation of feeding behavior and the neural generation of motivation and pleasure. It is dubbed the love hormone, and anandamide, which has been called the bliss molecule for its role in activated cannabinoid receptors in brain cells to heighten motivation and happiness. Simultaneous activation of dopamine and opioid systems seen with ingestion of high fat sugar foods, similar to effects by dopamine agonists, amphetamine or cocaine, and opioid agonists, heroin and morphine. Dopamine. Chocolate interacts with some neurotransmitter systems in our brain, such as dopamine. Chocolate contains dopamine, precursors, tyrosine, serotonin, and endorphins contained in cocoa and chocolate. These contribute to appetite, reward, and mood regulation. Serotonin is a chemical that nerve cells produce to communicate in the brain. Serotonin is known as a natural mood stabilizer because it helps reduce depression and regulate anxiety. Tryptophan is an amino acid found in small quantities in chocolate and is also a precursor for serotonin. Chocolate contains tryptophan. The result increase in serotonin can help explain why one might feel happier, calmer, or less anxious after eating a piece of chocolate. Opioids. Intake of sweet food increased by opiate agonists and decreased by opiate antagonists. The opioid system plays a role in the palatability of preferred foods. Endorphins released during eating could enhance the pleasure of eating chocolate. Opioids can stimulate the immediate release of beta endorphins in the hypothalamus. It produces a relieving effect. Now you may be asking, what is gas chromatography? Gas chromatography, or GC, is a type of chromatography used in analytical chemistry for separating and analyzing compounds that can be vaporized without decomposition. Typical uses of GC include testing the purity of a particular substance or separating, identifying, and quantifying the various compositional elements of a compound. Gas chromatography is also useful in the analysis of pharmaceutical products, alcohol in blood, essential oils, and food products. How does gas chromatography work? Well, the method consists of first introducing the test sample into a stream of a noble gas, commonly helium or argon, and that acts as the carrier gas. The gas stream is then passed through the packed column, through which the components of the sample move at fast velocities. The substances have greater interactions with the stationary phase and are delayed to a greater extent and consequently separate from those with smaller interactions. As the components elute from the column, they can be quantified by a detector and or collected for further analysis. In the experiment, I explained the researchers' use of gas chromatography. Well, why use it? Well, being able to more precisely target the compounds that release pleasure in our brains will make the consumption of chocolate much more pleasurable for us, the consumer, making it a much larger craved after item. Here are the sources for my information, and here are the sources for the pictures I used in this presentation.